Hey guys, after 16 years of owning my Citi bus conversion, that took me 2 years to convert back in the year 2000. And it just occurred to me that I've never really did a video tour of my Citi bus conversion. So you guys want to see the inside of the bus? All right. Oh, step one, guys. Why do you buy a Citi bus and convert it? Well, a lot of it has to do with how much weight you can carry. That's why people buy big buses and they want to have a bus conversion, is because they can carry a lot of weight. Some of these smaller motorhomes like you see on the roads, these little Class C's or something, sometimes, and they're built on like a little truck chassis or a Chevy van chassis, sometimes they pretty much max out the weight capacity of the chassis, and sometimes it'll say, oh, it's got a 12,000 pound capacity, but you can really only put, it's pretty much maxed out. You can only carry like 800 pounds of your own personal gear on top of its chassis. On this one here, this is like a 34,000 pound chassis. Each tire, these are 22.5-inch tires, the same one you see on trucks. Each tire holds just over 5,000 pounds per tire worth of weight. So, on full airbag suspension, so no matter how much weight it has, it's always going to ride the same. And I use the airbags to actually level when I'm camping. I can just let the air out of one side or all four sides until I got a nice level spot. So that's the main reason, people buy the bus conversions is, weight. Carry all your heavy stuff and not even have to worry about it. Well, I looked long and hard for many years to find like the perfect bus chassis. This is actually a 1978 Citi bus, a San Diego Citi bus that I found. It actually had a little bit of these access doors that I went ahead and finished it off and made them into bays. So that was one of the big pluses of getting this particular bus frame. Also the fact that it has smooth siding instead of like a school bus. If you get a school bus, it's always going to look like a school bus no matter what you do to it. It's going to look like a school bus with all the rivets and all the trim. This one had smooth metal, full out steel with no rivets. So I really like that feature. In this bay here, it's pretty much consistent of, the black, a 45-gallon black tank, which the bathroom, the toilet sits directly above it. And it has a little bit of storage for electrical cords and some airline and just little stuff underneath it. If I went with a composting toilet, I could actually have a full-out bay here, which, people are really liking those, and that's definitely a plus. In this, in the middle bay is mostly storage under here, and then, in the middle, I have a 65-gallon gray water tank in the middle of this bay and the other side bay. So you really have about maybe 30 inches by maybe 4 feet here worth of actual storage for all my oil and tools and whatever I just want to put down here. In the last bay, this is actually the diesel fuel tank up here. Covers pretty much the whole bay, which is about 130 gallons of diesel. So that means you can, and this bus actually gets about 10 miles to the gallon. So I can almost drive, 10, 11 hours straight without getting gas, which is overkill. So, I always wanted to maybe cut the tank a little bit shorter and maybe pick up a foot or two of storage here, which could be done. So up here is the fridge access panel, and actually this was a two-door. It used to have a door here that I just welded closed, and I did the same thing up front. It had a big wide door, and I went ahead and welded half of it, and then I custom made an actual door on a hinge. Okay. This campsite has a weird spot. They put the water spigot, on the right hand side. But anyways, right here, I went ahead and cut out some of the metal here, and I moved the batteries from the other side. Originally, I moved them over to here, and over here I basically have all my batteries. It can hold, sometimes I'll have 4 house batteries and 1 starter battery or something like that. Right now I have 2 starter batteries and 2 house batteries in here on a roll-out tray. So that's kind of nice. Over here, because this was a city bus conversion and I was pulling my big, huge, heavy trailer, sometimes it got hot, going up of mountains and things, and so I went ahead and cut out a panel here, and I put an extra radiator here, so now I have like almost double the cooling, which is nice. And then I have my air intake for my engine intake here. Okay, so the big plus, people love the diesel pushers. So in the back, what I have here is 210 horsepower, which is pretty meaningless. It's really all about the torque. An unlimited amount of torque on this 3208 diesel Caterpillar engine. What's kind of nice here is I kind of custom built it. I lowered the little frame a little bit, and I just put this engine in a couple of years ago. It actually has like a rear start kind of a system when you're working on it. Drives so faster than my car. With a lot of stainless steel hoses, that's kind of nice when you get a city bus. You get all that stainless steel hydraulic cooling fan system, and huge amount of extra water tanks, and your hydraulic tanks are fairly large. In case there is a leak, it doesn't really matter. You could drive for hours and hours with a leak. Okay, guys, in the rear, this is the main radiator with the transmission cooler. Of course, it has an oil cooler as well. In this bay, this only uses half. I made this the electrical bay. I have a 1500 watt inverter for converting 12 volt to 110, so you can watch your TVs and microwaves, all off the batteries. And on this panel, I also have a 75 watt solar panel on the roof. And I have the controller here. I also have a 50 amp, power cord here. And then I have it rigged up here where I can also plug my trailer into here and have 50 amps in my trailer. Shared 50 amps. Okay. In the first bay over here is basically the water tank. I got all the sewer hoses, and the water pump is down here. And all my hoses and filters and stuff are basically stored in here, and your fresh water. Okay, in the middle bay here, we have your standard 6-gallon hot water heater, either electric or propane. And in the big middle section here, this is more. It could be a pass-through, but I've got a 65-gallon fresh water tank in between these 2 bays. I also have, the 2 propanes, which I like because you can take these out and just take them and get them refilled. And then regular storage here. So you have a little bit of like tool storage on this side as well. And then, of course, the first bay is the diesel fuel tank that goes all the way through to the other side. And you can fill up on both sides here. You can fill it up no matter what side, which is nice. In this front bay right here, actually I kind of rebuilt this whole thing because it used to come up at an angle, and then the other side was straight because of the door, so I made these 2 sides match. I made this come straight off, which it's got a pretty long overhang here, which is fine. So this front bay here is, for the most part, the electrical maze full of stuff. I also have 2 big air tanks here that store the air for the air brakes, and also in this bay I have my 7500 kilowatt Kohler 4-cylinder generator that I pulled off of a 55-foot yacht. It's really heavy. It's water cooled, so it's super quiet, and it puts out, the 7,500 kilowatt power at idle instead of, these high revving generators that you commonly see. Okay, up front, guys, this is basically a custom front end that I just built out of steel. I just kind of took and welded this in because it was kind of a hollow spot in the car. I have up front, I made this open up, and then I have the fuel for the generator in here and the radiator here. This actually comes out on a slide with a lot of finesse. It's a pretty heavy thing, but it slides out, to here, so you can actually work on it. You have to move a few things around, but it'll slide out pretty decent. In the front, guys, we did quite a bit of work up here because this was one of those bifolding doors. It came out all the way to here. So I welded in this section, and then I custom made this more of an RV style door with a stainless steel like fire truck hinge with this nice door here so you could get in, and sealed it. I also have these really nice Ramco mirrors up here that were kind of rather expensive. They're kind of like 800 bucks, but they're heated and they're electric, so you can, when it comes to driving something like this that you just can't see, you really need to have a mirror. Mirror is all you have. So, I went ahead and splurged and got, the heated, remote, adjustable, paneled mirror. Here in the front of the bus, I actually did a lot of custom stuff because this was actually all metal kind of a thing going on. I did all wood. I refaced it with some oak and some doors, and I actually put a flat Corian countertop on here. So I could put stuff on here and, put my TV and, plants or whatever I wanted to do on like this flat space. In this one here is actually just hidden most of the actual original heating. I need the heater in here. I just kind of covered it so it's nice. This is more or less the glove box drawer. It's got all your papers and pencils and stuff in there. And I have a nice little cabinet down below it, which is, whatever you need close to the door. And then I have like 2 steps up to here. I can sit here and at basically my computer desk and do all my books and blogging and whatever I want to do at this nice little table here, which has a little nice Corian countertop on it. And I got a little side table here, which is cool to put your drinks on when the passenger's driving. Over on this side, it also has a swivel chair. I have a nice little top over here. You can put your drinks when you're sitting on the couch. I actually stole the steering column out of a Chevy Camaro, so it's kind of cool because it has a tilt steering, kind of feature better than the big bus wheel. I switched it over. And then I actually made a custom gauge, dash for all my gauges out of Corian. And in order to get my defrosters to work, I actually had to do a lot of custom holes in the back of my Corian countertop. So it is ducted so I can actually have a defroster working. And then all the gauges and stuff are all, I got all my switches for my lights and air brake stuff and my air shifter all over here, my generator stuff on the side. And then up on top, I recovered all of this with some wood and put some nice little cabinets. I got some DVDs and, just whatever I need in here, a couple speakers. This is more or less the air vent from outside to get some fresh air. Then I have a couple little cabinets up on top just for putting maps and anything I need within reach. All my papers. It's just something, if I have a space, you might as well use it. Anywhere you got to use cabinets is good. More cabinets, the better. When it comes right down to it, this couch is super cozy. I can just sit here. I can watch my TV. I can read a book. I usually always keep my little fan over here. The fan is good to keep air circulating, but it's also good to cut out any outside noise, and your ears just get used to it so you can sleep consistently no matter what's going on outside. Hopefully you're concentrating on the fan noise. You know what they say about RVs is cocktails for 6, dinner for 4, sleeps 2. One thing I like is just my little U-shaped kind of, you know, dinner area table. It kind of makes things a little bit different than just the 2 bench styles. I also have my Korean solid surface table that I made. I also have my cool little picture. When I used to live in the Virgin Islands, I got this off of an artist at a craft show. So this kind of reminds me of my island life. So I put, so up here I've got a couple cabinets. You know, this one's more or less food and paper towels, plates. And you can put more food up above the fridge. More food. The fridge is a good size. This is actually a marine grade fridge, 12 volts. So you can actually run this more or less designed for running off of solar panels. It was originally for sailboats. And then down here, I've got a solid surface countertop, a little toaster oven, and I actually have a wall oven, marine grade wall oven, which is really nice to have if you like cookies like me. And then over here is more or less my gourmet kitchen. You know, I always wanted, a nice kitchen, not really like a motorhome kind of kitchen, but more or less a house style. So I went with a full out solid surface kitchen countertop. This is a coved backsplash, all kind of glued together one piece, so there's no silicone anywhere. I actually have a 3-burner gas stove here, the Autolite. That's really nice. This is marine grade as well, so it doesn't rattle. It's made for sailboats. Up top, more or less glasses, plates, more plates. I kind of put Tupperware in here, a lot of space because it's a corner. And, spices. So I have a lot, because I wanted to do, instead of just a straight kitchen, I wanted to have a cool little angle here. So I did a nice 45. And then on the other side is the shower. So I have a nice 36-inch white shower. So this is a nice 3-burner. I have just a little pull out here. I got some drawers for all of the cooking. Down here I put my canned goods. And all my pots and pans are in the big space. And then on the bottom, there's quite a bit of space, but I also have the hot water heater down there, access. And then I have 4 really nice drawers that are automatic, just pull in so they don't open where you're going down. No fancy latches, you don't need them. I have these fancy hinges that automatically pull the drawer and keep them closed. So, some more cooking and dish towels and towels. And down here is under the sink. I got a big space here. I got my reverse osmosis down there because you never know what your water is going to be in the garbage. I also did a little thing here just for utensils. And then up top, I have my fantastic fan, just for venting. It's really cool. So here I used just a regular household door, just kind of cut it smaller to fit the space. So you could just walk through. My parents both have a fifth wheel and they have a motorhome. And they traveled full-time in their fifth wheel. And they get really jealous of the bathroom that I built in my bus conversion. Because in some of those motorhomes, well, most of them, they're like really small. They have like a 2-foot square shower and you're like showering like this. Or like a 2-foot little thing in your toilet area. I did a full-size, width-to-width bathroom area. I have a full 36-inch shower, full-size shower. I custom-made the shower pan with a curve glass door out of the same kitchen material here, the fountain head, solid surface. And then I have, on the side of that, I have some cabinets for the towels and sheets and things like that. And then I did a really nice, same thing, solid surface countertop with a blue, with a round bowl in the bathroom. And then I also have a really nice porcelain toilet fitted there. And then a really nice mirror and a couple cabinets for all of your medicine stuff. As many cabinets as I could fit in that area. Let's see. In the bedroom, underneath the queen-size bed, I was able to fit 110 gallons of fresh water tank under there. I have a full-size wardrobe with a glass mirror front, so nice visibility there. All solid surface countertops on 2 nightstands and a full-out dresser with solid surface countertop. And then I was able to do a full cabinets up above the bed